Prime Minister hosts Jamaica's allies during Diplomatic Week. Second phase of Youth Build project launched and more houses for sugar workers. This is Jamaica House Weekly. I'm Samantha Allen. With this year's focus on partnerships for growth, the Diplomatic Week appears to have been a resounding success. Prime Minister Portia Simpson Miller used the week-long activities to meet with the diplomatic corps, assuring them that the foundation was being laid for a climate of economic recovery and growth. She used the opportunity to update the gathering on the strategic priorities for the 2014-2015 fiscal year. Mrs. Simpson Miller also called for deeper cooperation among nations on world affairs.
Interdependency between nations and the global nature of many of the problems we face require us to deepen the dialogue between our peoples and our countries. If we are to achieve sustainable development, we must move beyond national borders to forge alliances at the multilateral level.
In the meantime, the Prime Minister reiterated her call for specific attention to be paid to vulnerabilities common to small island developing states. She added that Jamaica was fully committed to a comprehensive post-2015 development agenda.
This should address key challenges in a holistic and coherent way to ensure the optimal mix of measures for attaining lasting solutions.
And the Prime Minister used the Diplomatic Week to welcome Australia's new ambassador to Jamaica, His Excellency Ross William Tyso. In accepting his credentials, Prime Minister Portia Simpson Miller expressed confidence that Ambassador Tyso would be able to improve the relations with Jamaica and Australia in several key areas and foster a stronger and lasting bond of friendship. In response, the ambassador thanked the Prime Minister for her confidence and expressed commitment to advancing diplomatic relations. The Prime Minister also met with Israel's ambassador-designate to Jamaica on Tuesday. In receiving the ambassador, Mrs. Simpson Miller said Jamaica valued its diplomatic relationship with Israel and looked forward to deepening the cooperation between both countries.
We have an inescapable duty to ensure that our young people are adequately prepared to become employable, to create jobs for themselves, and to lead in any sphere of endeavor.
Prime Minister Portia Simpson Miller speaking Friday right after she signed an MOU for the second phase of the successful Youth Upliftment Through Employment Youth Build initiative. The Memorandum of Understanding, worth $32 million, will run the program for another 18 months and benefit some 100 youngsters.
Youth Build is part of the approach towards integrative national development. It facilitates a partnership between the private and public sectors. It links the training being provided with manpower needs in the construction sector. It has the potential for enhancing opportunities for inclusiveness in the industry, making allowance for both large and small-scale contractors. It supports the government's drive towards job creation. It combines theoretical learning with practical application through job placements on projects.
Phase 2 of Youth will increase the number of participants from 45 to 100 and the provision of a new pre-skills literacy and numeracy training element. To date, the 3-year program has provided educational opportunities, job placement and mentorship for more than 1,600 participants. 39 sugar workers in Spicy Hill, Trelawney were on Thursday given the keys to their new houses. Speaking at the handing over ceremony for the $155 million development, Prime Minister Portia Simpson Miller said the government would be spending $2.4 billion on social programs to benefit sugar-dependent communities over the next 3 years.
This will include expenditure for schools, health and sport facilities. This funding, you should note, is in addition to the approximately $900 million which has already been disbursed to sugar workers and small cane farmers to cushion the effect of the fallout from the divestment of the public sector sugar estates.
Some 876 workers are scheduled to be relocated to 400 houses in 4 sugar-dependent parishes across the island. Prime Minister Portia Simpson Miller celebrated a major milestone last week. On Wednesday, Mrs. Simpson Miller marked her 40th year as a public servant. Mrs. Simpson Miller began her political career in 1974 as a councillor in the Kingston and St. Andrew Corporation, the KSAC. She served as cabinet minister for various portfolios, including labour, local government, sport and tourism. The staff at the office of the Prime Minister congratulated her on a successful run and toasted her achievements. And Mrs. Simpson Miller also made time last week to meet with Dr. Carl Wright, Secretary General of the Commonwealth Local Government Forum at Vale Royal. The Prime Minister and Dr. Wright discussed matters regarding climate change, local government and community development. The Prime Minister said local authorities were closer to the people and were therefore an important platform for the building of better communities while enhancing the lives of citizens. Dr. Wright commended the Prime Minister for the work the government has been doing in driving legislation for local government reform. And that's it for this week's edition of Jamaica House Weekly. Join us again next week for the latest news and updates from the Office of the Prime Minister.